A group of top House Republicans met with the president at the White House yesterday to discuss plans for passing Trump's sweeping legislative agenda. That meeting comes as the party appears divided over how to get a budget resolution across the finish line. House Republicans have indicated a preference for passing a single bill that would include Trump's priorities on taxes, immigration, and energy. But Senate Republicans appear to favor splitting up the issues into two bills. House Speaker Mike Johnson had this to say to senators yesterday.
Our message to our friends and colleagues in the Senate is allow the House to do its work. We are moving this as quickly and as expeditiously as possible. Very positive developments today. We're really grateful to the president for leaning in and doing what he does best, and that is put a steady hand at the wheel and get everybody working.
Meanwhile, the Republican-led House passed the HALT Fentanyl Act yesterday with bipartisan support, now classifying the opioid as a Schedule I controlled substance. The bill would lead to harsher punishments for using or selling the drug. It passed with a 312 to 108 vote, with 98 Democrats voting in favor, an increase from the votes received for a similar act that was brought up during the last Congress. Joe?
Let's bring in now Republican Congressman Rob Bresnahan of Pennsylvania and House Republican Conference Chairwoman Congresswoman Lisa McClain of Michigan. We're going to get to the HALT Act in a minute. But first, Chairwoman McClain, you were at the White House yesterday for a meeting on President Trump's agenda, which you said was, quote, spirited at times. I've been in a few spirited meetings regarding legislation. What can you tell us about it?
What I can tell you about is we spent about 5 hours in the White House, and it is so refreshing to have a leader in the White House that is engaging, that is crystal clear on his priorities, and making sure that we as Republicans deliver on those promises that he made, whether it was the budget resolution, whether it was securing the border, getting the economy back on track. It was spirited, no doubt, but that's what we're supposed to do, right? Disagreement isn't disloyalty. And when we have conversations, we do a better job. This piece of legislation, the reconciliation, is absolutely, or could be absolutely transformational when we get it right. So we have to pause just a minute to make sure that we are getting it right. But I was honored to be there. It was spirited. And my goodness gracious, I've never met a president like President Trump that has so much energy.
Few people have ever met a president like President Trump. I think even Democrats would say that. Congresswoman, tell me what's the strategy? The House wants to pass the reconciliation bill in one piece of legislation, and the senators, or the House of Lords as we always call them, want to divide it into two. What is the difference in logic? What's the difference in strategy? Why do you think the House has it right?
Well, I think the House has it right because we want to make some pretty significant cuts. Listen, we're $36 trillion in debt. We have a spending problem. We have to get our spending mechanism under control, and reconciliation gives us a vehicle to do just that. So we want pay-fors. So some of the tax policies are going to cost some money. We have to make sure that we can pay for them, right? Border security, to clean up the mess that President Biden left us at the border, is going to take some money to do. So if we put it in one big, beautiful bill, so to speak, we will have more money to get everything that we need done for the American people.
So Congressman, obviously, the border, illegal border crossings have dropped precipitously. They've gotten much lower over the past year or two. Same with fentanyl crossing the border. That said, fentanyl is still such a huge problem in the United States. Talk to any parent. I'm a parent, and so many parents so scared of that. This fentanyl bill that was passed, I got to say I'm surprised. I had no idea it was a Schedule II drug, despite just the hell that it has visited on Americans and American families. But this bill that passed with a bipartisan vote yesterday makes it a Schedule 1 drug, correct? And if so, how does that help law enforcement?
Well, I think first, I appreciate you recognizing the crisis that we have relating to fentanyl. And like you had mentioned, fentanyl doesn't discriminate between any socioeconomic background, family dynamics. I actually lost a 16-year-old cousin due to a fentanyl-related overdose, and it was totally tragic and what I feel is preventable. I mean, just 2 milligrams is enough to kill a human, which is like the size of an ant. So when you start to talk about 43 pounds being apprehended at the northern border, that's enough fentanyl to kill the population of the state of Ohio, almost 12 million people. So we have to get serious about this crisis, and we have to buckle down and protect the American people.
This was a bipartisan piece of legislation. Democrats jumped on board. Congressman, what other opportunities are there? Because I know you guys hear it when you're back in your districts, and Congressman, I know you're in a swing district, and you've heard it too. Americans do want both sides working together. What are some more opportunities for that to happen this session of Congress?
I think everybody wants fiscal responsibility. We hate seeing waste, fraud, and abuse. And, you know, what's really frustrating is when, like the Congresswoman said here, that when you have $36 trillion in debt and just the interest on that debt payment alone is more than our national defense budget, it certainly aids to some concern. I mean, we're financing our great-grandchildren's futures at this point. Everybody wants jobs. Everybody wants an economy that works. They want secure borders, and they want safe communities. And I think our vote yesterday on halt fentanyl was a first step in that right direction.
Congresswoman, let me ask you about that, about the $36 trillion debt. I'm an old man. When I was there, we were worried about a $4 trillion debt. We did balance the budget 4 years in a row, but that required really tough choices. I'm so glad to hear you talking about the need, if there are tax cuts. You know, there have to be pay-fors. If there are other spending bills, there have to be pay-fors. I guess CBO came out with a projection that the national debt's going to jump another $20 trillion in 10 years. We can't afford that as a nation, can we?
Amen to that. We can't. And that's why in reconciliation, while we have this opportunity, we must make some tough decisions. And my hope is that it is bipartisan, that, like my colleague said, that we care about our grandkids and our great-grandkids. We have to make some tough decisions, but there are some non-tough decisions that we can make too. Let's just take a look at the waste, the fraud, and the abuse that we can uncover. I am hard-pressed to think that the government runs so efficiently that we can't find any efficiencies in savings, in taking a look at auditing some of these programs that we have. Some of these programs haven't been audited in decades, right? The American people earn their money and they pay taxes. Hardworking Americans. I think it's high time, and it's going to take some unconventional ideas and wisdom and thought process to get us out of this situation. We have got to begin to examine where those hardworking American tax-paying dollars are going and what they're being spent on.
Yeah. You know, when we were fighting to balance the budget, we understood we couldn't get the Senate to go along with us. We couldn't get the White House to go along with us unless we used the power of the purse. That's the one thing we had. All spending bills, as you all know, start with you. Start in the House of Representatives. I'm as an Article 1 champion, I'm concerned by what I'm seeing with Elon Musk going around and going from bureaucracy to bureaucracy. And he's seeming to do like sort of line item vetoes, saying, well, we don't want this, we don't want that. I'm wondering, are you all concerned at all about this infringing upon your Article 1 powers? Because you all, as you know, you authorize it and then you appropriate it, and then it moves forward for the president and the executive branch to spend it. Are you concerned now, or is there a moment, is there a red line Elon Musk could cross that would cause you real constitutional concerns?
Listen, I think what President Trump is doing by appointing Elon Musk is absolutely brilliant. And I say that from this perspective. We have a spending problem, $36 trillion in debt. We have a spending problem. It is going to take some unconventional thought process, some unconventional wisdom to get us out of the mess that we're in right now. So what Elon Musk is doing and what President Trump is allowing him to do, to audit the books, I think is brilliant. And listen, look at what we're talking about right now. We're talking for the first time in a long time about inappropriate or mismanaged funds. We're actually talking about the issues. That is the start. You can't fix a problem until you first admit it's a problem. And President Trump is doing an amazing job by actually telling us, hey, we have a problem. And look at what we're uncovering. So I'm happy we're having the discussion.
Well, and I'm happy we're having the discussion, too, about waste, fraud, and abuse, about using best practices. Congressman, though, this is usually, though, what subcommittees do. This is what committees do in Congress. This is what the Appropriations Committee does. I mean, and that's constitutionally where it's supposed to be taken care of. At some point, do you have concerns that they may go too far and may be stepping into your Article 1 powers?
Well, what's encouraging is that you balanced the budget, what you said, 4 separate times. So there is hope for us here. And I'll tell you, the process has been exceptionally member-driven. I serve on transportation infrastructure, agriculture, and small business. And every single day we are meeting with inside of our various subcommittees, really putting in the work, getting to the bottom and looking at various different elements. I mean, the reconciliation process is involving 11 different committees. And I'm a new guy on the job here, and the federal government is a very big place. But we do have the power of the purse. That's a big reason why I decided to run for Congress, and I ran on having an economy that works and fiscal accountability. So obviously we are working very hard on the reconciliation process as well as solidifying a 5-year farm bill. But it's certainly within our wheelhouse, and we're going to continue to work for it.
All right, Republican Congressman Rob Bresnahan and Republican Conference Chair Congresswoman Lisa McClain. Thank you all both for being with us. Hope we can continue the conversation.
Absolutely. Thank you.